This has been a peaceful protest. The major incident here was that car that appeared to clip a few protesters. That was at Wabash and Monroe. So we're going to continue to try to figure out what happened there, if that driver was arrested, what the intention for that driver was, Aaron. A lot of open questions here, but for the most part, despite the scale here, and it is a noisy protest, there have been no major incidents aside from that car that appeared to have driven, into or near that protest, Aaron.
I'm on the...
President Trump made an order to deploy 2,000 California National Guardsmen to help quell the protest. I'm in downtown LA. This is right next to the 101 freeway, which has been shut down. These guys are breaking up the rocks that are embedded into the cement, and they're throwing it at cop cars down on the freeway. And you can see how many rocks are on the cement right here.
You must disperse immediately south on Alameda, away from Temple.
There are thousands of protesters. So who is protesting out here? People on the right will say it's Antifa and Mexican nationalists. According to the left, it's all peaceful people. And I have seen a lot of people peacefully protesting here. There's people here with their pets. There's people dressed up. There was a dude with Palo Santo to give this protest the vibes it needed, I guess.
There's a lot of people out here. When it comes like immigrant roots, they believe that this is just a target to us, and it's not something that's cool.
Came for a peaceful protest.
I think whatever side of the political spectrum you were on, you would agree that people do have a right to protest. You'll talk to people who are like, we should peacefully protest. Then you have the other flip side of that coin of people who just want to burn down the entire system. Protesters I've seen throwing glass bottles. They burned down 5 Waymo cars that I guess all got stuck in the protest over here. National Guard is not currently fighting, at least where I am downtown, but the LAPD has been deploying tear gas in multiple areas.
I've been here all day. I've seen very few people be arrested.
And I think it's because the city of LA can't. They politically can't. They think it will look bad. They think it will show them being unsympathetic to the situation. Both Gavin Newsom and LA Mayor Karen Bass say that Trump's National Guard deployment stoked the flame, which I've heard people say that's why they're out here. I'm gonna say things would probably have been chaotic either way. LA isn't quelling the protest at all. There's going to be an entire section of downtown LA tomorrow that is destroyed, just out.
Mi gente, por ahí andan las noticias que según quieren deportar a toda la raza trabajadora y les hicimos este corrido, compa Kevin.
Para que le pongan oídos, dice más o menos.
Tercer día de disturbios en el centro de Los Ángeles. Manifestantes incendiaron vehículos y chocaron con las fuerzas de la Guardia Nacional el domingo, en medio de protestas en contra de las redadas contra inmigrantes indocumentados. Al menos 3 vehículos fueron incendiados en la tarde del domingo y otros 2 fueron vandalizados mientras manifestantes se movilizaban en el centro de la ciudad. La policía lanzó granadas de humo y aturdimiento contra decenas de personas que cortaron el tráfico en una autopista clave. Las protestas en Los Ángeles, la segunda ciudad más grande de Estados Unidos y hogar de una gran población latina, comenzaron el viernes, luego que decenas de personas fueran arrestadas, enredadas a plena luz del día. Las autoridades dicen que son migrantes ilegales y miembros de pandillas. Los ánimos se caldearon tras la orden del presidente Donald Trump de desplegar la Guardia Nacional en la ciudad, una fuerza militar de reserva usada en situaciones como desastres naturales, pero rara vez en disturbios civiles. El gobernador del estado de California, el demócrata Gavin Newsom, señaló que eso es una seria ruptura de la soberanía estatal y pidió que la Guardia se retire. Pero a una pregunta de la prensa sobre el uso de soldados, Trump pareció dar vía el domingo a un despliegue más generalizado en otros lugares del país. Vamos a tener tropas en todas partes, no vamos a permitir que esto le suceda a nuestro país, no vamos a dejar que sea destrozado como lo fue bajo Biden. Es la primera vez desde 1965 que un presidente despliega la Guardia Nacional sin que sea solicitado por un gobernador, una decisión muy criticada por los demócratas, entre ellas la ex vicepresidenta Kamala Harris, que la calificó de peligrosa escalada para provocar el caos, mientras que el senador de Vermont, Bernie Sanders, indicó que los enfrentamientos han dejado al descubierto el autoritarismo de Trump en tiempo real. El sábado, el secretario de Defensa abrió también la posibilidad de recurrir a los infantes de Marina en servicio activo, además de a la Guardia Nacional. La Policía Federal señaló que varias personas fueron detenidas en Los Ángeles y también en Nueva York desde que iniciaron los disturbios. En San Francisco hubo unos 60 detenidos el domingo, según la policía.
Calm down. And tell them about the puff and paint. Tell them about the puff and paint. It's all your products. Go, go, go. They stand right next door. Go, go, go. Get them, get them, get them. Get the money.
We have huge breaking news right now. Donald Trump is threatening any protester who comes out to protest his military parade on Saturday, saying, quote, any protester will be met with very heavy force. He said that he hasn't heard about protests on Saturday, but that is the day of the No King's Day protest. There are over 1,600 protests scheduled nationwide. I don't believe there are any near DC or in DC, but Donald Trump is now outwardly threatening people who come to voice their opinions. He said that they will be met with very heavy force. He went on to say, quote, if there's any protest that wants to come out, they will be met with very big force. This is relation to his Military Day Parade protest. Guys, this is a significant statement from the President of the United States, and it's one that should not be taken lightly. His military parade is scheduled for June 14th. It's No King's Day. It's the 250th anniversary of the Army. It's also his birthday.
Los Angeles County, the most populated county in California, with nearly 10 million residents. Of those, 48.6% are Latinos or Hispanics. Now, if we put that into perspective, over 1/3 of Angelinos are immigrants. If we jump into the sanctuary cities, because Los Angeles became an official sanctuary city since last November, before Donald Trump got into office for the second time. Now, what it means to these sanctuary cities is that every city is limited to share their resources with any federal activities when it comes to immigration. And that's why this residents here, these protesters, are saying that the city should protect them because it's considered a sanctuary city, and that's one of their chants we've been hearing since Friday, that they don't want ICE patrolling the city streets of Los Angeles, and they want them.
Las mexicanas y los mexicanos que viven en Estados Unidos son hombres y mujeres de bien, son hombres honestos, que se fueron a Estados Unidos a buscar una mejor vida para ellos y para aportar a sus familias. No son criminales, son hombres y mujeres de bien. La quema de patrullas parece más un acto de provocación que de resistencia. Debe quedar claro, condenamos la violencia, venga de donde venga. Llamamos a la comunidad mexicana a actuar de manera pacífica y no caer en provocaciones.
seeing in Los Angeles is chaos that is provoked by the administration. When you raid Home Depot and workplaces, when you tear parents and children apart, and when you run armored caravans through our streets, you cause fear and you cause panic. And deploying federalized troops is a dangerous escalation, but we need to be real about this. This is about another agenda. It's not about public safety. There's clearly no plan, and there is clearly no policy. I want the people of Los Angeles to know that we stand with all Angelenos, no matter where you were born. The First Amendment right gives you the ability, again, to protest peacefully, but it does not give you the right to be violent, to create chaos, or to vandalize property. And that will not be tolerated.
ICE raided a 5-year-old's birthday party and literally threw flash grenades at babies. ICE agents claim that this child's birthday party, again filled with children, was a Tren de Aragua gang event. They arrested at least 35 people, 9 of whom were children, and held them for weeks until they were all eventually released with no criminal charges. There is no universe where this is law enforcement. This is state-sponsored terrorism. Let's also just take the morality and the ethics out of it for a second and think about this on a budgetary level. Just how many tax dollars are we spending to target random civilians, attack them with military-grade weapons, arrest them, detain them for weeks, and eventually have them released with no criminal charges, all for nothing? It's becoming abundantly clear that the cruelty is the point, and the Trump administration is willing to make us foot the bill for that. It's interesting that all those Doge government efficiency guys are suddenly really quiet about this massive instance of waste, fraud, and abuse.
Who's got the power? We got the power. What kind of power? People power. Trump, escucha, estamos en la lucha.
Trump, let's be clear, immigrants are welcome here. Trump, let's be clear, immigrants are welcome.
This is a moment we were hoping would not happen, but here we are on the fault line between officers and National Guardsmen. This is the Robert Young Federal Building in downtown LA, and hundreds of protests. I'd say maybe 1,000 or so. It has been intense. It has been building. Earlier it was calm, but right now you can sort of feel that energy shifting. Not what anybody wanted to see. It's been several days of this kind of thing leading to difficult evenings. Here's a look now at how we've got to this point.
Protesters have returned to downtown Los Angeles, and with them, a sense of unease.
We're in the midst of a peaceful protest just off the edge here of downtown LA. Police are ultimately trying to move them away from downtown LA where the federal buildings are.
National Guard troops continue to arrive to help put down a problem that LA County Sheriff Robert Luna says does not need fixing.
There's a lot of anger, and we are very concerned at this point.
So are they helping or inflaming the situation?
Well, they just got here, and people aren't happy about it.
What happens next?
I mean, we need the National Guard out. We need ICE out.
What began peacefully, protest over federal immigration raids quickly deteriorated. A handful of cars were set on fire. Streets in a major freeway were blocked. There were several clashes with law enforcement. Sunday's boiling point was reached after days of simmering tension.
Stay on the sidewalk.
On Friday, ICE officers carried out a raid in LA's Fashion District. Protesters attempted to block a van carrying detainees. Mayor Karen Bass condemned the raid, saying, "We will not stand for this." On Saturday, word spread of a pending ICE raid at a Home Depot in the city of Paramount, less than 20 miles from downtown LA. Again, the clashes turned violent. That night, President Trump ordered at least 2,000 National Guard troops to LA County over the objections of California Governor Gavin Newsom. Sunday morning, the first 300 troops began arriving outside the federal detention center, followed by the protesters, a clash of wills and a war of words.
When you hear the White House and the president use words like occupation, invasion, insurrection, is that accurate as to what's going on here? What are you seeing? Right now, I see a community that is scared, very concerned, and a lot of what's going on, frankly, is unprecedented.
So once again, here we are. This is the Robert Young Federal Building, downtown LA. Officers have been trying to get people away from here, but here they are. There's this standoff going on. You see officers in front of us, and you see National Guardsmen and women down there. The whole idea is to maintain some level of calm. And ironically, not ironically, but perhaps interestingly, you talk to officers out here and they have empathy for a lot of what the protesters are saying. A lot of them happen to be Latino themselves, and they're just shaking their heads. Many of them saying to me, it just doesn't have to be this way, John.
Maurice, you are right there on the fault line, but as you've been traveling throughout LA, what else have you seen? What's the situation in the rest of the city that you've seen?
You know, it's so interesting, John. You fly in and you see a regular Los Angeles County, and people are going about their business elsewhere. This is a small, contained area, downtown LA, just a few blocks, right? The rest of the city, life goes on. And so striking to see that. That's often how it is in big news events like this, but it's all right here. And life goes on elsewhere, but this is so tense right now.
Who's streets? Who's streets? Who's streets? Who's
Whatever, don't even try to explain it. It's not, don't stop. You're embarrassing yourself. You're embarrassing yourself. You should be embarrassed. Wow. I don't even want to listen to you. Okay, well then, that's great. Okay, Junior, somebody gave you your big boy pants, now you can make some.
We'll never be defeated. United, we'll never be defeated. United, we'll never be defeated. Fight back! Stand up! Fight back! Stand up! Fight back! Stand up! Fight back! Stand up! Fight back!
Y'all can't dress like that, though. Y'all can't dress, you pussy, bro. We got nothing on. You can't dress like that. Fuck you. You escalated. Shame, 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 shame. Fuck y'all. Quit your fucking job. Get the fuck out of here.
All power to the people. Nobody is illegal. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
That is where ICE takes their detainees after they arrest them. So once we're done with this live shot right here, we're going to go head over that way. You see, it appears to be California National Guard. Ooh, they're taking somebody down right now.
Right.
I don't know if they saw Yeah, I don't know who those guys are or what they did, but you can see that appears to be, is that California National? If it says ERO on their back, that would be ICE. That stands for Enforcement and Removal Operation. I can't tell. It's some sort of law enforcement, and they clearly did not. Yeah, they clearly did not like what the guy in the yellow was doing right there, because they ran right at him and they took him down. So we'll ask and we'll see if we can find out what that guy did. It looked like he was loitering near a vehicle. Oh, it looks like a firework just got thrown in. So that's more of what you're seeing multiple fireworks coming into that frame there, Trace, and that's what we were just dealing with about 30 minutes ago while we were live on Hannity. We had fireworks being thrown in our direction, in LAPD's direction. So this crowd is definitely getting a little bit more feisty tonight, Trace, and you mentioned it right off the top. That's exactly what happens out here when the sun starts going down with these LA. I think these might actually be feds based off some of the patches I'm seeing. These look like DHS guys to me. Yeah, HSI, police HSI, so that's Homeland Security Investigation. So those are feds, those are not locals, and that's probably why you see them being a lot more aggressive. The feds have been a whole lot more aggressive. Think about what we saw on Saturday in Paramount. That was Border Patrol, that was HSI, that was ICE squaring off against those protesters. So the feds just took somebody down there. I'm going to text a few contacts and see if I can find out what that guy did. But they ran right at him, they took him down, and Trace, just feels like the tension is building down here. I mean, there's got to be a million helicopters above us flying around trying to get every perspective you can possibly see. Some of them law enforcement, some of them media.
Rocks hurled through the windscreen of their cars, and now they are firing fireworks directly at officers who have backed off a bit, I've got to say. And as the night has worn on, the number of protesters certainly has dwindled, but the ones left are the real anarchists, the ones who are intent on causing the most damage, the most mayhem. Donald Trump, as we know, has ordered in 2,000 National Guardsmen, he says, to basically crush these riots. The California governor, Gavin Newsom, warned that sending in those troops would only make things worse, be inflammatory, and that certainly does appear to be the case. And now we are learning that the Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth, has more than 500 active duty Marines on standby to come in here if necessary. So as the night is wearing on, tensions are not dissipating. Things are only going to get worse, I fear.
Los Angeles has been an epicenter of protest in these early days of the second Trump administration. We've got probably the biggest pro-immigration protest in the country since President Trump was inaugurated. I'm here in downtown Los Angeles, about half a block from the federal immigration detention facility. This is where immigrants caught up in the Trump administration's raids over the weekend would have been initially taken. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of Angelenos out here now protesting the administration's actions and the mass deportation agenda in general. You can probably hear there's helicopters hovering overhead, police drones, and it seems like this crowd is going to be out here for hours. There's no dispersing happening anytime soon. There was some pepper spray or some tear gas used on the crowd this morning. As soon as I got to the detention facility, my eyes started watering, I started sneezing and choking, and you could tell that something had just been sprayed. That's also why I'm wearing a mask. Something that will become apparent going forward is that the protests Friday and Saturday were relatively small and contained. Local police, I think, easily could have handled them. It was Donald Trump's escalation of the matter when he decided to call in at least 2,000 members of the California National Guard that required Los Angeles police, county police, the California Highway Patrol to come in and do the crowd control and kind of clean up the Trump administration's mess that it had made. So I'm sure this will increase tension further between the city, the state, and the federal government in what was already a pretty tense relationship filled with friction.
These protests are happening all over the country. Right here in New York, there's just a very big one downtown, rolling from the west side to the east side in New York City. Check it out. You can expect more of these around the country.
Protests in New York have been going on for now 4 hours, and it really wasn't until the fourth hour that we saw an escalation. After marching through the streets for hours, the NYPD not stopping any of the demonstrators, not getting in their way, not preventing them. Then around 9 o'clock, as protesters continued to march, they started throwing garbage into the street, and that is when the NYPD moved in told everyone they had to get out of the street, and now this is what we have. Dozens of officers. We have not seen this kind of response all day, and now we have these officers here. These officers, dozens of officers now gathered outside of Federal Plaza. Actually, this is where the ICE offices are here in Manhattan, and this is where dozens of protesters now are ending their night. The NYPD standing by in case they have to make more arrests. And as long as the protesters stay on the sidewalk, the NYPD is not going to make any arrests.
Just got shot in the head. Thank you.
They had us all like surrounded.
Carrie Lopez talking to us from her hospital bed after agents released her and sent her home, she says, following this arrest Sunday at Hawthorne and 120th, caught on video.
I had lost my balance because he was kind of like shoving me away from the door. That's when I kind of just like leaned forward because I was kind of trying to protect the stomach.
Let her go, she's pregnant!
Video from neighbors we obtained show them calling for her release. You can hear passerbys honking their horns in protest. Lopez says agents took her into custody, saying she was trying to obstruct their operation. We reached out to DHS for comment and have not heard back.
I'm gonna need you guys to leave. This is private property.
You can hear Lopez on this video she shared with us confronting agents as they pulled up to the building where they were working doing maintenance. The agents were in marked Border Patrol vehicles. She says her husband and co-worker, both undocumented, thought they were being followed by agents when they tried to pull into the building's private parking. Her and her cousin, both U.S. citizens, opened up the gate for her husband to enter. They thought agents needed a warrant to enter as well.
Excuse me, ma'am.
No,
Listen to me. You are interfering with my arrest.
I was blocking the doors because they were trying to forcefully open them. But I told them they were on private property.
She says agents said it wasn't private property and arrested her, her husband, cousin, and co-worker.
I wasn't resisting or anything. I was just like, you're gonna handcuff me. But I'm not. I can't fight back. I'm pregnant.